we're ranking Roblox horror games so we can make the best one ourselves. We already started making a game and the first video on that will be out soon. Today's video is all about some OG Roblox horror games.
In the beginning, there were tycoons, then obbies, and then came along a relatively unknown creator known as Samson16. Samson became the father of current Roblox horror games, creating one of the very first story-driven experiences on the platform. With his plethora of games, most notably the camping series, Samson revolutionized the Roblox horror genre that we've all come to know and love. Today, we will be rating all of his horror games.
The games will be rated on story, scariness, and gameplay with bonus points given for a game's X Factor. A game's X Factor is something that makes it distinct among other games.
The first game is camping, and this game just really falls flat with everything it tries to do. Sky, I know you have some deep feelings about this game.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a fan of this game. I've probably played it the most out of anyone in the group, mostly due to some of the difficulty in this game. But my biggest issue with this game is definitely the wait times. It's honestly atrocious. You spend at least 5 minutes waiting with nothing to do because the game kind of puts you in a box and you just don't have any activities. Like if we go out, we're not gonna complete the game.
We can wait. I may just go get some snacks, honestly.
Yeah, should I go get some snacks too?
Yeah, this game is just hard when it doesn't need to be. Like the scene where you're running from the cave back to your campsite, back to the cave, and it turns out that what you're retrieving actually has no effect on the game at all. When you're probably going to die doing that, it's just so dumb. The game, it's not scary. The music is bad. It's just bad. It's bad.
If I had one word to describe this game, it would be torture. There's almost nothing redeeming about this game, unfortunately. I mean, obviously it's the first game, but all of the atrocious music, bad jump scares, bad gameplay, unnecessary hardness, along with long wait times makes this game something that really doesn't stand the test of time.
Yeah, I think the only thing that it has going for it is that this is the first game that Samson made. So afterwards, he was able to improve on it, but I think we very clearly have our ratings for this, if you want to start that.
Yeah, so for the story, I'm gonna have to give this like a 1. It's really bad, and it really doesn't stand up on its own. It only gets improved upon in like the later games.
Right, yeah, it's a 1. Scariness, 1.
Yes, it's just not a scary game. There's really nothing even trying to be scary. And then in terms of gameplay, if we could give zeros, I would.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I would literally give this a 0, but 1.
But just to let it be known, we do think the game feels a little homemade, and we acknowledge that there was a lot of progress to come from it since it was the very first. I found Camping 2 to be a lot more enjoyable than Camping 1. It definitely improved upon a lot of the issues that I had with Camping 1, especially in terms of the scariness, and it definitely reduced some of the horrific wait times that Camping 1 had.
Yeah, it reduced them. They were still there, but overall, like you said, everything was better. I think my favorite thing is probably the story improvement. And like the setting for some of the jump scares was a lot better than Camping 1.
Yeah, the game, like, it's just more intuitive. You get more opportunities to actually like play. There's the obby, there's Eek Snakes, which obviously gets bonus points.
Do you think Buddy makes it? Yes, no.
No.
I'm gonna go no.
No.
He's hacking.
He actually just cheated.
He literally touched all of his things.
The quality though, I would say it's still kind of the same as Camping 1. Like, it's like the gameplay is like infinitely better, but the quality of the game, like the map and like the feel of it overall is like pretty similar.
There's like
Um,
story choices, you know. There's, like,
there is a story
you
choice.
you could either do one thing or you do the not do the thing, and it affects the ending. So that's cool.
Yeah, Mike,
do you
put
do?
the
Should I
gun down.
fire?
Don't do it.
Should I
What do you
fire?
think? What do
Mike.
you think, Mike?
Put it down, Mike.
That is cool.
Yeah,
though,
I
by
did
the
think
way.
it was. Yeah, I did think it was interesting the first time I played it, and I realized that there was a different ending for the different stories, which is something that I wish he explored in other games because I think it makes this game like more interesting than the other ones for that reason.
One thing, there's a repeating cricket noise that is not synced correctly, and it sounds terrible
It's
when you're
true.
playing the game.
That is
Yes, he's
also
actually-
that is also
that
kind of a
actually is
thing in
something.
camping as well. But yeah, it's kind of like a thing that went over. The story, like we said, it's better. Do we think a 3 or a 2?
I'll give it 2.
I think I could go for a 3.
Three's fine.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3.
All right, that's cool. I think it's an average story. The scariness, Sky, I'll let you go first. I know you like the scariness in this game.
Yeah, I think the scariness is pretty decent overall. I mean, it was
Samson
really
games.
still one of the first made, so taking that into account, I'd probably give it like a 2, just because the average horror game I think still is a bit scarier.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's nothing like camping or where it's like horrible completely. It's pretty decent. I'd give it a 2 as well.
Yeah, I'll give it a 2 as well.
Gameplay is still pretty rough, which is what I kind of talked about, and also Mike was talking about with like the cricket noises, things like that. There's like a lot that could be improved in the game.
Yeah, there's also just random things like the C4 thing was like really random.
Yeah, that
Came out
was.
of nowhere. It just felt like filler, so it didn't feel dead.
Yeah, I don't know.
think the gameplay's a 2.
That's fair. Gameplay could be a 2. What do you think, buddy?
I give it a 1. Just like the cricket noise, I like that's like one of like the main things that I do remember. Just like sitting, it wasn't the bathroom. We were in the one of the cabins, and it was just very noticeable. Because like once again there was another long pause between cutscenes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 1 as well, but mainly just because of wait time. I think it kind of ruins the games a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would give it a 2, but I think, to not have the scores be even, I think a 1 is a fine score.
Alright, so Camping 3 is an interesting game. To kick it off, the wait times are miserable, like the worst in the entire series.
Yeah, they're about as bad as Camping 1, and that one's like terrible in every way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like really long, and there's nothing crazy you're doing. You're just like walking around pretty much.
Yeah, there's no cool mechanics in the game. It's all just walking around in some forest. There's like, I guess every once in a while,
Kind of like the
a
same deal as the
thunderstorm
other.
that you
Yeah,
have to move around.
the jump scares, like with the villain, which is like this green bunny. It's like same level as Camping 2 probably. There's like one where you see him running in the forest, and you hear like the noise, and then like where he like jumps in the window. It's kind of like, my God.
I don't know. I think Camping 2's jump scares are better, but
I mean, yeah, it's
I
similar.
like how they had like a sign in the forest building the lore.
Yeah, the story for this one was actually pretty decent compared to the other
they
ones.
connected it to Hotel with like bringing in.
It was connected to like all of the ones from the series, and it also had its own
the
story.
ending was a little goofy. I will say that without spoiling.
It was still something though.
But it was something. It connected it.
And the gameplay was a little bit fun at some parts because you had a boss fight at the end, which was pretty cool, and get to eat people, which is kind of crazy for Roblox, but
You do get to eat people. That is true. Bro said num num num. Bro said num num num. After we just discombobulated someone. But it feels like a very reused formula with like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
you go into this cave and there's an obby in the cave.
you can tell a
then
lot
you-
by the third game. The story I think we're going to give it a. I would give it a 2. Yeah.
I think a 2 is fine. Yeah.
No, I think 3. I think 3 is fine because it's like regular. 3 would be like regular. I think the story is the best part of this game.
I don't know. Everything, the gameplay is a 1 for sure.
The gameplay is definitely a 1.
I also did not think this game was
And the
scary at all.
I didn't really think it was
I'd give it a
scary.
1.
But if I'm comparing it to Camping 2 or 1, I'd give it a 2.
I don't know. I think it's a 1. I thought Camping 2 was a little bit scarier.
It just kind of depends. Yeah, it's pretty much like 3-2-1 or 3-1-1. Okay, so Hotel, the main thing is that we've been talking about camping games, and the biggest improvement for this one is that the wait time is pretty much non-existent compared to the other games. It's a lot more playable, and I also really want to say that the setting of Hotel just feels a lot more like a horror game than the camping games overall.
Yeah, the gameplay compared to the first 2 camping games is so much better. In Camping 2, we mentioned how the noises are really bad. In this, the noises are a lot better with using the sirens.
Ah!
Fire, fire, fire.
Attention, please. There has been a report of
And gameplay-wise too, the utilization of the key card, like it just makes it feel more personable.
This game also is the first real horror game to have a boss fight. Although it does follow like a similar formula to every other horror game where it's like this black monster with no real face and just like a bunch of random obbies all over the place.
Yeah, it's like similar to a lot of other horror games you'll see in that way. But it was one of the first ones, and the model at least was like a custom made like model for the villain. I think my biggest complaint. Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
Oh no, isn't this the same monster from Camping 3 as well?
Yeah, it shows
Oh,
up
like
in
the same-
Camping 3 because of their like
Yeah.
interconnected
So, like,
stories.
Yeah, so like it shows that they're connected, which is cool.
Yeah, I think my main complaint about this game is the story is pretty much non-existent.
Yeah, the
it's
only
not really there.
connections in the story is that there's like a family that shows up at your dorm at one point, and they
It's,
like
like, from
later
the other
have
games.
implications.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Also,
this game is
after like
very-
replaying it, like Mike was saying, with the same formula, you can see that it's like just the obby, and then the boss fight. Even though it is like cool that it has a boss fight, it's not like super interesting.
Yeah, the boss fight is very like it's not very good. It's just like one
It's
of the
cool to
first
have,
of its
yeah.
time.
But overall, big improvement to some of the other games. So the story, we already said it's pretty bad, so I'm pretty sure we're just gonna give that a 1, right?
1,
Yeah.
1, 1, 1.
Okay. Scariness. This is kind of. I think it's a 2.
I'll give it a
I can't
2.
think of a reason to give it a regular because the jump scares aren't that good. But he does do anticipation a little bit better, like when they knock on your door and stuff.
Yeah,
But there's no
That's
reason
fair.
to give it a normal.
the gameplay is probably a 3 because it's a lot
Yeah, I
faster
agree.
paced and everything
Yeah,
else.
I think that's what
I
we've
agree,
been
it's a 3.
highlighting. We like
It's
the
a
most
3.
too. Yeah, I
For
think
sure.
it can reach a normal game. So yeah, I think the gameplay's a 3 as well.
Very
All right.
solid 3 at that too.
I found Manson to be a pretty enjoyable game. I thought the story was at least mildly interesting. I like that it was a standalone story and didn't rely on the other games to build up to the story as well.
Yeah,
I
it
like
also
this.
kind of connects differently from the other games because the gameplay, it's like you're actually doing stuff the whole time rather than just like waiting, which is like a lot of the campings.
Yeah, I like the cars. The cars are pretty cool. There's
Yeah.
also like a mansion, like in the mansion there's like a library that was moving around that you had to exit to escape. That was pretty cool. That was like new for Samson.
Yeah, it had a lot of stuff. It had like a classic obby, the cars, the maze library thing, like you said. There was like spiders that attack you too. There's just like more stuff than the other games.
Yeah, the mansion definitely, it felt a little empty. I'm not gonna lie, for like a mansion, but besides that, I think it was pretty cool. I like how he like goes crazy after telling his story.
Goes
I thought that was
berserk.
pretty cool.
Ah! Goddamn! Ah! Holy fuck!
Yo! He has a Glock.
Do you think it was scary, Sky?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it was too scary. I mean, the ending, I
Ending was
guess,
kind of
could
cool.
be. It was a little scary, I guess, you know? He's
Little-
just showing up outside your
jump.
window.
Little jump.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more the psychological, oh my gosh, he's outside my window.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a scary game.
Yeah, but I'd put the effort points there for that because it was different.
For sure, for sure.
So then I think we can go into the ratings then. Story, I'd say it's definitely a 2, right? It's not like a 1, but
It's like a 2.
because
Yeah,
it's not a
I'll go
normal
with
story. Yeah, okay. Scariness, yeah, we said it was kind of. Yeah, it's not pushing 3. There's no way. So
Two.
I'd say 2.
Gameplay's a 3 though.
Gameplay's a 3, you think?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
think there's
fair.
Just enough to make it a 3.
Yeah, I think those are
that's
two
fair.
fair ratings. Yeah.
I think 3 is fair. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, onto the tier list. Start with camping. This is the worst one.
F. Yeah. F.
Oh,
Definitely.
it's so bad.
Yeah, it's pretty horrible. Camping 2.
Solid
This is, I think it's a C tier.
C.
Definitely
It's like
not
the
D.
bottom of C tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Bottom
definitely
C.
not D. The wait time really holds it back a lot, just like all of them. But
Wait time's not that bad in 2 though.
It's
yeah,
better than
No,
1.
It's better than the
3.
other 2. So yeah, 3
Now
is not
3,
C tier because
ooh.
it's just worse. I think D tier is fair.
Yeah, it's not as bad as 1.
Yeah, it's hard to be as bad as 1. Hotel. That's definitely better than camping 2.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, I think it's just higher in C tier.
Okay, and then mansion. I
I
actually
think that's above hotel.
really? I don't
Yeah.
know. What do
I
you
think
think?
it's close.
It's definitely close.
Um,
It's definitely one of these two spots. This
I
or
think I'm gonna give the edge to Hotel just because I think it did the boss fight. Like, Mansion didn't really have too much of that. It was more of the escape type of thing.
I think the whole environment of hotel is actually the best as well. It's like
Yeah,
it's just like better done overall. I think this
but
is
they're
fair. They're
definitely
like super
close.
close, yeah. And then camping 2 is probably like a little bit farther back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. That's it.